lost my job. That's fantastic. Yeah, so I'm redundant now. So I thought, you know what? While I'm doing all this car stuff, if it does take a bit more time now, I have a bit more time. So let's do it. Let's get back into the YouTube, get more consistent with Instagram, and update you guys on stuff that I'm doing, that I love to do, but normally it just, you know, I do it in the background because I'm doing this stuff anyway, and sometimes putting a camera on things feels a bit artificial. So, new project, which I haven't shown anyone yet, not because I'm trying to be all like secretive, but because you got to use your imagination a bit, and I need a really good run of days, weather-wise and time-wise, where I can get the car out. So now I'm jobless, I'm gonna have time to do that, and that's a big project. I'm gonna be absolutely an amazing fabricator by the end of it. I hope. Well, I need to be, because whatever. So the plan is I've got this second project, which I'll talk about in another video, when I can pull it out. I started collecting bits for it, and I want to start it ideally at the end of this year. So I want the RS sitting in a place where it's basically ready for four-wheel drive. I got an O2M box there with a spare transfer box. I've got all the Gen 1 Haldex and all that stuff in the back there. That's a spare MTX 75 diesel box with long gear ratios for a little side quest for the RS between getting Haldexed. More about that later. It's just a stupid idea I've had, that I sort of had it years ago and I want to fulfill anyway. So I need my fabrication skills to be reliable, let's say, if I ever want to convert the Focus to Haldex, O2M box, blah, blah, blah. So I've got one here. I don't know whether this one will be the final box to be used, but I know it's done about 70,000 miles, as well as all the rear end. So what I need to be able to do is be confident in chopping up the Focus, because I think the Focus, I'm planning on a new engine for it in about a year's time. I think with that power goal with the Quattro, I think we'll sort of make it the car it should have always been. And the car, I mean, maybe I'll keep this engine if it lasts, but this engine was always a test engine that I built for sort of fun and games, never to last, but it's done really well so far. So if that lasts, I won't build an ST 170 turbo. I'll just keep this and O2M blah 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 it. That's future stuff anyway, but I need to be able to confidently go into that project knowing I 100% can finish it. I can cut and shut the car, I can build the cradle, I can modify the chassis legs, everything I need to do. So this second project is going to enable me to advance my skills. I'll stop waffling on. I'll just show you around the RS because Nate has asked me to. And currently it sits in a position where I can press the button and it runs. It's amazing. It's been a lot of bloody work. Probably 8 months of on and off work, especially with the cold. Some weeks I didn't even touch it. But this is at a stage now where I've started taking it to a company called Quest Motorsport. Fantastic guys. You never know who you're getting with mapping. You never know how it's going to go, who they are. Are they going to be arrogant tuners? Are they going to be sympathetic for what you want to do? I'm someone who needs to be involved in everything. Just the way my brain works. Being an engineer, I can't not know things. So Jamie and Keith there are fantastic. Father and son duo. You've got a hub dyno. It's wicked to use. Never used a hub dyno before, so always used rolling roads. So this is really cool. It takes a little bit, I think, of wear off the car because you're not killing tyres. You don't have to have good tyres. I mean, I have, but you don't have to. And it strapped into the hubs, right? And they've got all these different things they can do, like increase, resistance and all that stuff, like a normal dyno. But something to do with the hubs, I liked it. I was a bit apprehensive at first, but it's decent. And Quest are wicked. They are amazing. They're just super friendly guys, like proper normal guys who you can have a chat with, hang out for a day or so, because you're going to be. You can ask them questions, and I sit next to them the whole time, and they chat me through it. It's fantastic. So I went there August last year, end of August. because I had fueling issues, which you probably know about if you follow me on Instagram. That's all solved now. Everything is solved, everything is ready. I really want a successful dyno day, or 2 days, maybe, if we need 2 days. I can't go through another failed dyno session. So let's stop rattling on. Let's go through the car, and I'll stop it. What's new? What's not new? I could probably put this on. Oh yeah. Let's put that on. That's nice, isn't it? These are wicked, these are. Nielsen do really cheap stuff, but it's well good. What's changed? Right, so didn't have a thermostat in this, so I built a new one of these. This has got a thermostat, a little sandwich plate. Took a little while, plate. Took a little while to figure out the best way to do that. I wanted a screwed one. In the end, it was a lot of drama, and it became massive because of the size of the thermostat. For it to all be screwed, I thought screwed would just look cooler. But in the end, what we did was matched this design here to this design here. Just so it's all a little bit in line, you know, all sort of makes sense. That one I positioned level, same as the inlet. I don't know, it's just little tiny details that I like to do. Straight into the swirl pot like normal. This has all been redone, hoses wise, because if you follow me on the gram, you know it slipped off of my shitty little track jack, and ripped all this out. So this is all now, this is all my Mac valve bits and pieces on a, that's a bit, I need to tighten it up, on a carbon fibre panel now. So this is all fully serviceable. This is, I can just pull this off, unclick it all, and so you got EMAT, Mac valve boost, and this is my MEF system, which will only ever be used for calming down EGTs on hot days, should I need it. Obviously, screamer outlet. So I've got a bit of a cold face going on, so my nose is leaking. Drive-by-wire. This is 75mm. A lot of people messaged me on Instagram saying it's too big, it won't work. And I sort of did a Hail Mary on it, because I was like, well, it might not. But it's worked perfectly so far. So I might end up eating my words later, but for idle and stuff, it's working out fine. And all it can do is, you know, flow better. So all this is upsized as well. This is all 63mm now instead of 50 something that it was before. 25/660. Got a new turbo support that made. It's got a little turnbuckle here, a little support. It's quite nice. Again, it's all on Instagram. But yeah, so it's just all a bit nice. High temp nylock, I think I put on there. If not, I bought some, I just haven't done it. Yeah, it's got this little turnbuckle. Let's see if I can show you it here. No, there's always something in the way, isn't there? So yeah, that's this here. A few people said once I put pictures up that I definitely need to support that. I'd done one that was a fixed point, I think to here, and then I realised straight away, yeah, thermal expansion and stuff, this is going to expand this way and do what it wants to do. If that was fixed, it was going to break something. So this now allows it all to expand and move around, but then support the weight of the turbo. That's cool. Don't think much else has changed. I know this has, it's got 1000cc injectors in it now, because I was worried that the 875s would limit me or get to a duty that I was a bit uncomfortable with. I don't want to keep going back to the dyno, so I've upgraded these now as big as I can. Well, not big as I can, but big as I feel I need to at this point. It's all sequentially fired and sequentially sparked now, so apparently that gives you a bit more headroom on the injectors instead of being group or batched. So I don't know, honestly, we'll find out. What else have we done? Yeah, I've got, these are all new. They're not new, they're new to me, so just make sure they're all tight. Yeah, these are all new to me. Cleaned them all up, tested them all, made sure they draw the same amount of current per coil, which they do. New Motorsport, just Ford Motorsport plugs, just copper plugs for tuning. Don't think there's much else. I don't think there's much else this end. If you've not seen it before, oh yeah, actually, to be fair, I converted all the air this winter, which was actually a much bigger job than I care to really admit. I thought, I hate little silicone hoses that you can always get a little nick, or if they get a bit too hot, they melt really easy. Oh, I think you're dirty there. There you are. So I decided a while back that I was going to remove all the silicone hoses. So to do that, I had to pull the inlet off to convert the back of it to AN. So I've got AN4, I think AN4 on all the wastegate sides. So that's all the air control from the turbo is AN4, and it's AN3 for the vacuum control, because obviously it's not a lot of the ID of all the vacuum stuff is really small, so I've kept it to AN3. So like here, I converted this had to be drilled and tapped, so that's AN3. So it's all just vac stuff basically. And I also then put this little vac rig down here. So this comes down to, I've now got a dump valve, or a pop-off valve, or a blow-off valve, whatever you want to call it. Oh, it's a bit oily, that. So this here, it's not converted it, but I basically did convert it to AN. So I've got this nice little distribution block here. So I've got one that comes down. AN3 comes down here. Could be an AN4. No, I think it's 3. And then hard lined, because I couldn't get this with hoses nicely. And little splitter. That gives me my pressure, and it gives me the vac. Oh, that's a bit loose, that. Need to tighten that up. That's the problem with these things. You see that bolt? It's loose. I don't know why. I mean, I would not have left that loose, right? So, no idea. Yeah, and then that just gives me my boost reference for the dump valve. So, you know, it'll release when it needs to. External oil pump, because gears shatter, boost kills gear pumps. So I've got an external pump now. It's a nice little bit of kit. Let's see if I can give you a little video of that. Again, I did do a video of that, but for some reason the GoPro footage corrupted halfway through. So I've got half a video, it's pretty shit. And I've now finished all the wiring. So you see all the wiring goes all up in there. Goes with all the hoses. So I've got the external oil filter here. This leaks. This leaks under here. I've done everything I can to stop it leaking. No idea why it does that, but it seeps from here. And the longer you run it, and obviously the more or less viscous the oil gets, the more it drops out onto the floor right in front of my front wheel. So I need to solve that. Pain in the arse, I'm not sure why, but both do it. I normally have a change in, change out filter. Like after a dyno session, I'll pull the filter, check it all, put it through a coffee strainer, make sure there's no metal in it, and I have another one ready to go straight on. Both leak, no idea why. Tightened them up. I've tightened them up by hand, it leaks. Tighten them up as tight as I can, it leaks. Tighten them up torque setting, it leaks. No idea why. I've now got a breather off the top of the fuel tank, because I've redone on my fuel tank. Again, if you follow me, you see that. This is the breather line, which is a big one. I think it's 12mm. And this is a one-way check valve, which I think is 0.5 psi to breathe off. So that's just to make sure that no pressure builds up in the tank, because I've removed the evap and all that stuff off it. So if that builds up, it just pushes it open. And what I will do is off this part here, I'm just going to do a hard line that comes up here, in here, and just vents out the car so it doesn't vent up vapour into the engine bay. Inside the car, what have we done? I don't know if you've seen that before, but that's all normal with the AIM stuff. You've seen the 10 buttoner, yeah, the tilt seats and stuff, and this is new, obviously. It's a completely wireless steering wheel arrangement. Again, if you follow me on Gram, you've seen all this stuff. But yeah, that is all talking to the PDM via CAN. Let me put a light on here. It's a bit of a mess in here because this is my final bit to do, which I'm going to finish today. I have now rewired everything. So coils, fuel pump, everything is on decent sized channels, so we shouldn't get any issues. I've also now got wheel speed sensor that's to go into CAN. I've also got flex fuel. I've got flex fuel in there as well. It's here somewhere. I've got another rig now, so I've got a double AFR gauge on this and a standalone knock sensor. So I've got knock sensor built into the ECU, into the 442. I've got a lot of stuff going into that, and that's pretty much all full now. But I probably will get a CAN expansion for it at some point, because I'd like to put a few other bits and pieces on there. What was I saying? Yeah, so the Motorsport electronics stuff, I've got a few inputs and stuff left on that now, but that's got flex fuel because Andy, the Mex Assist, has talked me into running it on ethanol as well. So yes, that'll be fun. Bioethanol, basically. So once this is fully mapped on 99, I might street tune it on ethanol, so I don't have two tables. We'll see. I don't know. It sounds fun. It just sounds like a bit of a nighttime industrial estate challenge. So let's have it. That'll be fun. What else have we done in here? I've got everything has been not rewired, but it's been repositioned. Like, everything is serviceable now, so I've got DT connections on everything, so I can remove everything that I need. This is all fully removable. I've put a few extra bits and pieces everywhere. I've now done all the shielded stuff. I've grounded all that. I've just spent a lot of time going through all of this to make sure it is as good as it can be. This looks like an absolute state, but believe it or not, there actually does make sense there. And I'll do another video on the wiring of the car, because that has been something I've learned. Got a little bit of online hate. Someone shared something on Facebook. I don't use Facebook. And a few people just jumped on the bandwagon and went mad on it about basically I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And well, the joke's on them, because I never said I do know what I'm doing. So I am like any other car guy. We just figure it out as we go along. So, but there was one guy who I think he was originally went a bit hard in the comments, and then he contacted me separately, DMs, which I totally respect. I couldn't give a shit. If people want to go hard in the comments, that's social media, right? That's just what it is. But he then said, look, I wasn't trying to give you a hard time. I'm just seeing what you're doing and it's not right. So do you want me to explain it? And he was sound as a pound. I forget his name. I'd chat him out. But he was wicked. He was wicked. And I'm not doing these jobs because I know how to do them. I'm doing these jobs because I want to do them. I want the car to be the best it can possibly be. And I know that certain things need to be done. So I just have to learn, right? So as an engineer, a mechanical engineer, my brain works a certain way, but electronically, I don't get it. So I can figure it out, but my brain is not, I'm not wired that way. So when I'm doing something, I just look at it like A plus B equals C, and with wiring, that ain't always the case. So yeah, you just got to just take the rough with the smooth, haven't you? But this guy, he reached out and he was really helpful, and I appreciate that. So if you ever see anything on the car that you think is shit, or I've done it wrong, or there's a better way to do it, just tell me. It's fine. I don't think my way's the best. This is just the way I know, or the way I have figured out in that 10 minutes. I mean, I wish I could do this for a living, but I don't. I've not got a background in motorsport. I don't really know anything other than what I've taught myself. So if you see a way to do things, just tell me. Don't keep it to yourself or talk shit, just tell me. Or if you want to talk shit, but in that, tell me what to do, because I don't fucking know, do I? So here's dead weight on a dead weight cell, which has been this is a phenomenal battery. Yeah, they're really expensive. I got a bit of discount. I think I bought it on like it wasn't a group thing, but it was maybe a Black Friday or something. I'm not sure, but I'll say it's phenomenal because it stays charged all winter. I've got this now because it was expensive, and these Victron stuff are really, really good. So basically what I do is I just put this on lithium ion, because it's a LiPo battery, and I just let that stay all winter so it stays healthy basically. But I didn't have that before, and this, I would periodically come in the garage, crank the car, work on the car, try and figure out why it wasn't running, and I probably cranked the car, I don't know, I want to guess and say upwards of 50 times, and this just kept on going and going. It never let me down until, you know, obviously it went flat, protected itself, and then just cut off power. It's expensive, but I do genuinely think it's a great bit of kit. It weighs, you can pick it up with one finger, it probably weighs like 2 kilos, 3 kilos maybe, considering the other battery was about 20. You can see I've positioned it centrally in the car, blah blah blah. But yeah, it's a really good bit of kit. It's totally reliable. I'm going to say that now, it's going to die, isn't it? But it's a great bit of kit. I definitely would recommend one if you've got a car, you know, that you, I didn't even buy it for weight really. I bought it because I just wanted a LiPo battery because of their efficiency. And I was doing all this electrics anyway, so yeah, it's good. We've got solid state kill, because you've got to have one of those really. Kind of a bit of a safety, but also a bit of security. Someone can't just jump in your car and go, but also I've got this wired into the PDM, so if I hit the button it kills the PDM before it kills the power by like a fraction of a second. I think that's how it works, I'm not sure, but I know one of the wires goes into the PDM, so here's what it is. This is a Volvo power steering. It's got red on it because it's not full, it's empty. This is a Volvo power steering, electric power steering. MEF for the EGT cooling. So that will effectively just work to cool down EGTs on a hot day. Sometimes at Silverstone, Ford Fair, it is roasting hot. Track temperatures get ridiculous, so on that sort of day it will just be built into the PDM as a safety. It will come on and it will just chill out the exhaust gas temperatures to a point where it's safe. At that point I would then probably pull the car in, because it's obviously it's getting ridiculously hot. It's just a engine safety metric. I'm not using it for tuning. I'm going to use fuel, you know, normal 99 and ethanol for my maps. But yeah, that'll be just hot weather safety metric really, and that's the little tank, which I'm going to build out. I'm going to cut all this out at some point when I've got time. And this side, I never thought to cut them out. Don't know why I didn't before I put the cage in it. I was probably rushing for a show, as always. But what I want to do is put this, basically build a custom one to go in here, and then I'm going to put a filler in the plexi windows. This hasn't got plexi in it yet, but I've got plexi for it. So this will have that, and it'll have a filler in that window there. Basically, that's right. Under the car. This is where I've lived. Little bit in there, a little bit inside doing the electrics, but I've lived under here on and off for 8 months this year, and it has not been pleasant. I've noticed this year, for the first year as well, the humidity in the garage is mental. So this, I've had to have a dehumidifier underneath the car, because like literally I'd come in here and this would all be dripping. That is brimmed. I emptied that, it's Tuesday, I emptied that on Sunday. That, no idea why the humidity has gone mad in this garage, but it has. Anyway, right, so that's another thing I'm battling with, the damp. I hate the damp. So I've had this tank out, I think 3 times now since going to Quest, because I had a fuel leak. So basically what I've done, and I'll put some pictures in the video, I've converted this tank now. God, it stinks of fuel. Please don't say I've got a leak again. No, I haven't. You can see here, got the fuel filter, the flex fuels over there. I'll show you in a second. Well, I'm too big, too ugly to be getting under this car. So yeah, so what I've done is I've converted all the lines on the top of the tank to, let me see if I can get you up here. Don't know if you can see up there. Everything now is AN. The tank is all converted at the sender. You can see maybe a little bit of hard line up there. Let's see if I can get you. there maybe, I don't know. So basically on the top of the tank, I'll put pictures in the video, it's all hard lined. So I've got AN6 hard lines, I've got AN8 hard line for the breather. The breather's got an old Roos hose that I managed to finagle and cut here. So that goes to the breather down to the front where the check is I just showed you. And then this comes off the tank down here on a hard line, probably hard to see. And now everything, as you can see, I built these little pedestals. Thank you, Chris, for doing that for me. And this, I've also had these pedestals as well, which I made ages ago for the power steer and feed and return. This has all got this protective heat stuff on it, and I didn't really do it for the heat, I just did it for stone protection because that's the fuel supply. It goes into this Torx filter and up. So basically everything here is fully serviceable. I can disconnect all these AN fittings and drop the tank out now fairly quick because you know I'm good at doing it. Flex fuel over here. It's a Continental sender. No, it's a sensor. And that is in the return line to the tank. So because the return line is always bleeding off, yeah, there was some debate whether it should be in the feed or the return. This is the same size, all of this is the return. So I put it in the return because it's always circulating back to the tank. So I assumed, maybe rightly or wrongly, I think rightly, that will always be seeing the fuel that's in the tank, whether it's a blend or whether it's 99 or whether it's between 99 and ethanol. It will see the blend because it's always returning back to the tank. So that was my theory. Whereas sitting at the rail is what it's consuming. I thought it would be a better mix on the return because it's always chonking it around. Anyway, it might be right, might be wrong, not sure. We'll see. Yeah, so that's been me basically converting all the tank. I can't really show you any better than that. I got a blue fitting now and I can't remember why I put a blue fitting on that. It wasn't because I only had a blue fitting. I think it's because that's the return, is it? It was cold. Oh, I don't bloody know. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I've been working on. It's all short hoses now. People have said this is going to be a flow problem for dyno, so I've built an AN6 hardline that just goes straight between those fittings. Keep it simple, and everything is off down the car, zip tied in place. What I'm going to do is I'm going to build a little bridge here that goes from this bit here. I'll put a riv nut in that across to here, and I'll put a plate, so there's no chance that can ever all drop down, and it gives it a bit of protection. And then eventually what I'm going to do is, oh, you bugger, I'm going to build a plate to go over this anyway. So that's enough being under the car. It's